Hello and welcome back to Sharing the Love. Today we're sharing the love with the wonderful Shri. Welcome.
Hi, Vana. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here. It's really my honor. Start off with, could you describe yourself with 5 words?
I like that question. I'd say I'm an interesting person, curious, beautiful, honest, and trustworthy.
Wow, I love it. And out of those 5 words, which one speaks out to you the most in the current phase that you're in?
Beautiful, inside out.
Yes, you are. You truly are, Shri. Alrighty, so it's time for our love bowl. You know the drill.
Nice.
Just say stop
Yes,
whenever
I
you're
do.
ready.
Stop.
And the topic for today is self doubt versus self belief.
Oh, what a topic, huh?
What a topic indeed. So, my first question for you is, what's the first thought that comes to mind when you hear self doubt versus self belief?
Confidence.
Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Self-doubt and self-belief are directly and indirectly related to confidence. And confidence is one attribute that all of us need in our lives to face lives, right? And to achieve what we want. And when you have doubts in your own capabilities, when you don't trust your own judgment or your skills, or when you do, it gives you or doesn't give you confidence. So when you have doubts, I'm not sure if I can do this. Do you think you would ever be confident in
Right.
getting into doing that? No. Whereas I think I can do this. Oh no, I have seen myself do this before, or I know people trust me doing this well. How much does that boost your confidence?
So much.
And you are immediately involved in taking action and pursuing and breaking comfort zones. So when you talk about self-belief and self-doubt, it directly relates to confidence. And you know the best part about both, that it starts with self.
Wow. That was incredible. And truly, I feel that to take it one step further, is they're not on opposite ends. You can have self belief and have self doubt, and that's okay. However, it's what you feed more, right? And that's the confidence bit. Is I'm choosing the self belief over the self doubt. And it's okay to have doubts. Why? Because doubts mean you care. Doubts mean that this is something that's important to you.
Absolutely. And I really like the way you put it because it reminded me of one of the posts that I wrote on LinkedIn where I mentioned that confidence is not the lack of doubt, but it's the dance between doubt and determination.
Wow.
And you will always keep dancing
Yeah.
between doubt and self belief.
I feel that whenever someone experiences something new, there's always going to be doubt, even though they believe in themselves. And that's why they went for it in the first place. But doubt is something so natural as a byproduct of any new experience that we go through. And we try so hard to kind of shy away from it or not admit it. And it's like, why? It's okay.
It's okay, simply because that's also your brain's way of helping you stay alert on the job that you have in front of you. It's helping you stay more focused in analyzing the pros and cons so that you don't fail, right? And after all, when I say the word fail, there's no fail or failure in my dictionary. There's only feedback.
Yes.
It's important to have those doubts in order to steer your way and your path in the right direction towards achieving whatever you want.
Yes. My next question for you is, why do you believe that some people have more self doubt while other people have more self belief? What do you think the main differentiator between them is?
In my personal experience and the experiences that I've had with other people, one of the main contributing factors is experiences from the past. What you've experienced in the past will shape the strength of your self-doubt or the strength of your self-belief. How much of support you've had in the past to help you overcome any challenges will allow you to understand that you do have the strength inside within you to overcome the upcoming challenge as well. Memories shape our present and future, but it's important to know that they only shape, but they don't dictate our present or future.
As you say that, the two words that come to mind are conditioning and limiting beliefs. And I do wholeheartedly agree that the past experiences do shape, as you say, but we have the choice. I think the underlying notion, what you said, and the differentiator between people who believe and people who doubt is the choice. That, and even people who have had past experiences that we could say could have shaped them to not believe in themselves, they chose to rise above that. They chose to say, you know what, I'm not going to let that come in the way of my dreams, of my goals, of my purpose. And so within that realm of limiting beliefs, one of the things we know as coaches is to always challenge, right? Challenge, where does that come from? Why do I not believe in myself? Why do the doubts keep coming in? And again, compassion is so important. And I say this, I believe, in every episode that I've had, across every topic that we've had in this Love Bowl, is that to have that compassion for ourselves. It's okay to have the doubts. It's not abnormal. It's not something that's shamed. Again, coming back to choice, empowering yourself and say, okay, I understand that these are things that happened in my past, and that's why my doubts sometimes get the better of me. And I've been there, and you have coached me through that so much so, to really start not only challenging, but also reflecting back to those younger parts of myself and showing them, I understand why you're acting out in that way. I understand that these experiences made you feel that way. But today there is an adult in town, and that adult can guide you, and that adult will hold your hand, because failure does not exist in this adult's dictionary. And so whatever it is, no matter what you're doubting, try it out, see how it goes, and then let's see how we can pick up off the back of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the first number one thing that we do is to bring it to the awareness, right? Bring it to the awareness that, hey, this is something that's triggering me from the past. And then second, as you say, reflecting. And then the third is reframing differently.
Yes. Can you share an experience where you yourself struggled with self-doubt and how you navigated that?
When you ask me that question, there's one thing that comes into my mind, one experience. 2 years ago, I wanted to quit my job. So I went up to my manager and I told her I'd like to resign. But she stopped me from talking and she said, wait a minute, Sri, we're not extending your contract. And this was not the first time. This was the third time in 3 years. My first thought that came into my head when I heard that was the voice of my ego. Hey Shri, you have a PhD in neuroscience. You've been running to 3 different companies, not liking any of those 3 jobs, putting yourself in a situation where you've wanted to resign only to find yourself being fired. I don't think so you're good enough for this society. That's what my voice told. That's when I believed that voice. I gave myself into that voice, feeling despondent, victimizing myself, suffering from inside out, wanting people to show sympathy for what I was going through, feeling judged, feeling like a failure. And the thought of starting over again was so unbearable that I just wanted to run away. I felt lost. I tried everything in my life to achieve the highest education I possibly can, chasing materialistic things like money and freedom and work-life balance, only to find myself here in a deep, dark pit, not knowing what to do and how to continue and how my life is going to be. Let alone I was an expat and I'm still an expat living in an unknown country, needing to pay my bills and having lost my job. That experience, if I have to think back of it, was very much necessary for me, because if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't be in a position where I am right now, appreciating life for the way it is. Sure, it took time. It still takes time. I am still learning and healing along the way, but I don't regret what happened. I'm damn thankful for that. I can say that today that I wouldn't be here if it were not for the support that I ask for from my family, from my friends, from people like you, my well wishers. I mean, after all, when we were kids, when we took the very first step in this world, trying to stand up and start walking, did we all do it alone? No. For most of us, our parents were right next to us, probably filming, taking a picture or video of that beautiful moment of us taking our very first step. So, why do we feel the need to do everything alone in this world? We need help to bring us back, to help us be much more stronger than we ever could imagine.
To me, it sounds like a story or an experience of resilience. And it's funny you said that. A few things ran through my mind, but one, how we take it upon ourselves to see experiences as a reflection of us, when in reality, sorry, maybe these three situations that happened weren't about you at all, and it was just a cost cutting thing, and they end up having to, it's just us taking it so personally. And the word that came out to me was the victim, and I feel a lot of that doubt is fueled by that victimhood mentality. On the other side of things, the thing that I heard was, in navigating it is the support. And it's like, whether that's therapy, whether that's friends, whether that's coaching, whether that's finding any modality, there's nothing wrong in asking for help. We are the species that is meant to be there for each other, with each other, living this life together. And so I love that you said that, because I feel sometimes we're ashamed to say, I'm doubting this, I'm doubting that. You reminded me now, in my entrepreneurial journey, I find myself filled with doubts and filled with fears, right? Again, yes, it means I care and all of that, but that's not to say it doesn't impact us on a day-to-day basis. However, in talking with my therapist, in talking with my friends, in talking with coaches, it just helps me reflect and realize that it's so normal and it's okay. And at the end of the day, it's what you choose to do off the back of these reflections. And for you, you chose resilience. You chose to rise up. You chose to keep going, because you said, I will not let that dictate. I will not let that dictate where my life is going to be headed. And look at you now. What an inspiration. Wow. Thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable. My next question for you is, if self-belief was a color, what color would it be and why?
White, because it has all the colors within it.
Wow. What about self-doubt?
Also white, because they bring out the colors from within.
You are phenomenal, Shri. You're right. At the end of the day, it's truly out of purity. That's when I look at self-belief and self-doubt, it's just out of pure intentions, right? The people who care so much, whether that's believing in themselves or the doubts themselves. My last question in regards to this topic is, what advice would you give someone struggling with self-doubt?
When you ask me this question, there's one quote that comes to my mind, which was told to me by my mentor, that I continue to keep reminding myself as a mantra every day. What others think about you is their perception of how the world should be, not yours.
And you get to decide and choose what you want it to be.
Yes.
From my end, I believe, just in terms of self-doubt, is have that grace for yourself. Have that grace and sit down with yourself. Really look into these doubts. Where are they coming from? Why do you have them? Again, as you said, awareness, reflection, and then what are you going to do about it? right? And think, be creative, brainstorm. There's so many different things. I feel sometimes we box ourselves with like, these are my only options. These are not your only options. If I can tell you now, these are not your only options. And it's okay to live with doubts. That's what I'd like to add as well. It's okay to live with these doubts as long as you don't allow them to come in the way of you achieving your own greatness or dimming your light or stepping into your true potential. To start wrapping things up, what was your biggest takeaway from our conversation today?
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Soul to soul conversation, raw, unfiltered. This episode is meant to be.
And on the back of it, it's funny because I really did this podcast so that I can show the world that we all have the same struggles. Yes, we come from vast experiences in the world, but truly the human experience is one and the same. And shining our lights, shining our vulnerability, our authenticity, what comes off the back of that is liberating others and shining the way for others. So where can our audience connect with you?
I'm quite active on LinkedIn. Well, of course, through you, because you have my contact details, and I'm reachable anytime.
Everyone needs to reach out to this incredibly phenomenal woman. What an inspiration. This is something I need to share with the world. She was my first coach, and forever I will be indebted to her shining her light and empowering me to shine my own light. Thank you so much for joining. Such an honor. You mean so much to me, Shri. And this is Sharing the Love. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what resonated with you, and we'll see you again in our next episodes.